1992's Batman Returns is one of my favorite superhero movies. In fact, as the years have passed and with each new viewing, I find myself enjoying it more than the original 1989 film. I think it's more atmospheric, being set at Christmas time, has a lot more to say with its characters and themes, and gives Michael Keaton a lot more to do as Batman and Bruce Wayne. The film was met with a more polarized reception though, and parents took aim at its darker and violent tone. Tim Burton's unique and bizarre style was also far more evident in this installment, and not everyone felt it worked with these kinds of characters and story. Some people were weirded out by it, creeped out even. The main villain of the film was Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, played by Danny DeVito, and this adaptation deviated from the original comics in almost every way. In his comic book appearances, especially at the time, the Penguin was depicted as a sophisticated and debonair mobster known for his thieving skills. He also ran the nightclub, restaurant, and casino known as the Iceberg Lounge, which acted as a front and cover for his criminal activities, though the Iceberg Lounge didn't technically debut in comics until 1995, so I guess we shouldn't really count that. Many of his schemes were rather gimmicky and involved birds in some way, or penguin-themed contraptions, and he made use of countless high-tech trick umbrellas that housed blades, propellers for flight, guns, knockout gas, you name it. In Batman Returns, the Penguin is not some mobster or businessman. While he possesses a short stature, is overweight, and has a beak-like nose, similar to the comics, the film leans more on his appearance being a physical deformity, so grotesque that his wealthy parents, one of which is Pee Wee Herman, lock him in a cage and go so far as dumping him into a river, which carries him into the sewer. This orphan child would be taken in and raised by a family of penguins at the old abandoned Gotham Zoo. Later, he would also travel with the Red Triangle Circus Gang and be part of their freak show. After 33 years, he resurfaced in Gotham City, now the leader of the Circus Gang, and known as the Penguin, and with the help of millionaire Max Schreck, who he had kidnapped during a speech and blackmailed with the evidence of Max's corporate crimes, plans on reintegrating himself into society and learn who his birth parents are. To make his first appearance grand, he stages a kidnapping involving the mayor's baby and seemingly rescues it single-handedly. With all the cameras now on him, he plays the sympathy card by explaining his deformities, the fact that his parents abandoned him, and that he wants to find out who they really are. This, of course, is just a ruse, however, as he uses this story to gain private access to Gotham's Hall of Records. It's here where he acquires the names of all the firstborn children in the city, which he later attempts to kidnap and kill. The Penguin went in knowing the names of his parents already, but wants to exact his revenge on the rich, aristocratic members of Gotham, a class of society his parents were a part of. And really, the Penguin wants to punish parents in general. His are dead, so I guess taking it out on everyone else's is the next best thing. You get a sense that he doesn't really care that his parents are dead either, that he's putting on a show. He couldn't give two shits. With the help of Max Schreck, the Penguin runs for mayor under his real name, Oswald Cobblepot. To discredit the current mayor and sway the election, he has his Red Triangle Circus Gang attack the city and wreak havoc, something Batman tries to minimalize. To eliminate the Dark Knight, Penguin also has his lackeys tamper with his Batmobile, so he can control it remotely, tear through the city streets, and put innocents in danger, framing Batman. He even kidnaps Gotham's Ice Princess and causes her to fall off a rooftop, killing her and making it look like Batman had pushed her. The Penguin's plan to run for mayor isn't something he's done in the comics, at least to my knowledge, but it was featured in the two-part episode, His Honor the Penguin and Dishonor the Penguin, from the 1960s Batman TV series. In it, Batman runs against the Penguin for mayor with a respectful campaign, whereas the villain turns the entire political system into a carnival. I think the episode has more relevance now than ever, sadly. Jesus. Anyways, in Batman Returns, the Dark Knight puts an end to the Penguin's mayoral race by jamming the frequency of the speakers at his rally and providing audio evidence of Cobblepot's misleadings. This causes Penguin to abandon his new life on the surface and return to the sewers. It's here where his plan to steal and murder all of the firstborn children in Gotham, as well as bomb the entire city with his army of penguins, is foiled by Batman. The two clash at his abandoned zoo hideout, which leads to Penguin falling through glass and into the water, later dying from his injuries. His penguin family then arrive like a bunch of pallbearers and move his body into the water to its final resting place. Danny DeVito's Penguin is far less cultured and refined than his comic book counterpart. He's basically an animal, but it makes sense, being that he was raised by them. Tim Burton's style influenced the tone and look of the character, and what we got was a very dark, grotesque, and downright disgusting interpretation. While the comics had the Penguin resemble the flightless bird with his appearance, Batman Returns blurs the line between the two. They become almost one and the same in many ways. He even eats fish, which he did in the comics, but again, it's less refined and more animalistic in the film, which feels a bit odd. The Penguin is a villain Batman must never underestimate, because despite his appearance he is a formidable foe, one of the most clever and cunning villains in the Dark Knight's Rogues Gallery. The comic book version of the character is intelligent, logical, manipulative, and deceiving. In other words, sane, with a strong head on his shoulders. The one in Batman Returns has a few moments of genius, but for the most part, he's just a twisted psychopath. He is a threat, don't get me wrong, but if you strip away the Red Triangle Circus Gang and the aid of Max Schreck, I don't think he would be as skillful and resourceful as the character is in the comics. I feel he needs assistance in order to achieve anything of true significance in the film, but maybe it's just me. I do enjoy the Penguin's plan in Batman Returns though. It has a lot of layers to it and feels like something the original character would try to accomplish, minus some of the more darker and perverted elements, mind you. At one point, he even allies himself with Catwoman to stop Batman, but the partnership is over rather quickly due to her disinterest in him sexually, which makes Penguin come off as a real creep. He was wooed over Catwoman in the comics before, but it was far less creepy and unsettling as it is here, though I guess that was the point of it all, huh? Danny DeVito's Penguin wears a monocle and top hat at some points throughout the film. In certain scenes, he's even dressed more elegantly than his usual dicky, tuxedo front, long underwear combo. It's gross. In terms of the trick umbrellas, he uses several in the film. The most notable ones being the bladed umbrella, machine gun umbrella, and the one he unfolds into a helicopter of sorts, like he had in the original comics. He also imprisons those he has kidnapped in a large cage, which we have seen him do before with Batman, and his penguins have also been equipped with explosive devices too, which was an idea used at the end of the film. The Penguin featured in Batman Returns may deviate from the original source material in many ways, but I still find him to be a solid adaptation of the character, even if his characterization itself and motivations have been altered. Danny DeVito is a great actor, and he not only makes the Penguin disturbing and scary, but also funny at times, and a character you truly sympathize with after everything he's been through. He's not likable, he's a terrible person, but you do feel bad for him, a little bit. He's a misfit who was turned into a monster. Then again, he attacked that cat as a child within his cage, so he was probably just a monster to begin with. Nothing changed really. This has been NerdGasm. Let me know what you thought of Danny DeVito's Penguin in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon, and help support my content over on patreon.com. It helps out a lot and keeps the YouTube dream alive. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.